Well, good evening and welcome to the Oak Point Nature Preserve in Plano, Texas. On very miserable weather on Christmas Eve, tonight's exercise, probably one of the more challenging SAR ops I've ever undertaken. Most people don't know this, but I actually met Santa once. Yes, he had a serious reindeer incident a few years ago flying over the LBJ grasslands, had to make an emergency landing. I happened to be out that night doing a night navigation exercise and was very fortunate to be able to help out in a big way. Well, I got a call from the North Pole today, and we have a situation. I did not know this, but elves play a much greater role in Santa's operation than most of us are led to believe. It's not just making toys and packing toys. Santa probably has what might be described as a small battalion of special forces elves. These operators are inserted into key points all over the world. They do everything from providing real-time intel on ground conditions, setting out GPS markers to help Santa with difficult approaches, even lighting up certain landing areas on roofs with an IR laser, again, to help Santa with very difficult approaches, particularly in bad weather. Well, there was an operator, THX1138, who was supposed to parachute in and hit an LZ in an open area beyond the lake in this direction. From the intel I have, the drop went perfectly, but THX never checked in. Well, after a small amount of time, he was deemed overdue. I got the call. Here I am. Now, I know you're not here for a lot of search and rescue detail. You want to see some products, and don't worry me, we will get there. You've all heard me talk about SMEAC and other videos in terms of execution tonight. My plan is that there are only three scenarios: undershot the LZ, hit the LZ, overshot. I've already taken care of overshot because that would put him pretty near a series of roads. I've already driven back and forth around the periphery of the preserve, so I'm pretty confident that overshot is not the issue. I am worried that the drop was made while it was still light, but light was fading and it was over the lake. So I'm going to start searching the lake, go around the periphery of the LZ, and then based on the situation at that time, I'll check back in and make any necessary modifications. Conditions are very bad tonight. It just started raining again about 10 minutes ago. We're supposed to have intermittent rain all night. So, thermal drone out of the picture. I will take handheld thermal with me. I don't know how useful it's going to be tonight. In terms of the rest of the kit, the three vendors or manufacturers who sent me the most products to evaluate in 2003 in random order are Fenix, Nitecore, and Nextorch. I really want to give these guys some big props. They really helped get a lot of good information out for people who are looking for lighting systems and have contributed greatly to the success of the channel. A big thanks to all of you. So, here we have still, after 2 years, my number one search and rescue headlamp, the Fenix HP30R V2. I'm out generally 50 hours or more a month in the dark. That's product reviews, training operations, the occasional SAR-op. This headlamp has been out in single-digit temperatures, very low triple-digit temperatures. Rain again tonight. This will be the 13th or 14th exercise that I have taken this headlamp out in the rain. It's been hit by deadfall. That's another story for another time, and it just keeps on working. I've also got the EO3R V2. You've seen the reviews on the channel. Excellent emergency or short-range use light, especially in the high mode. It has a fantastic solid and flashing red as well. Over here in the free light position, because of the rain and weather conditions tonight, I don't have a left shoulder long throw light loaded. I'm just using the free light. This is the MH25 Pro. In fact, I've had such a problem with rain the last week, I haven't been able to get out and do the full review of this light yet. In fact, 2 days ago, I went out and filmed a 2-hour rain exposure evaluation of this product. So this is the first product I've ever reviewed where I did the rain exposure test before the full review. I also brought out the new EDC 33. We'll probably take a look at those two top-end illumination modes tonight. Then in terms of my go-to beacon, I've got the Nextorch 10L. What an amazing piece of kit. Almost a 500,000 peak candela. However, with the dial, I can very easily hit low or medium in addition to high modes. That's great for not just beacon use, but I can hit a very precise amount of illumination for trying to make identifications at a very specific spot downrange. Now, speaking of downrange, I can often illuminate longer distances than I can make identifications. Detections is often the easy part. Identification is the name of the game. So I carry a Vortex Optics Solo RT as a magnified optic. As I said before, I'll probably be carrying a handheld thermal night vision tonight with the weather conditions. Don't know how useful it will be. Well, I got to quit babbling on. THX1138 is out there. Santa's counting on me. If his operation craters at any one point, the entire Christmas Eve and Christmas Day experience could be ruined. So I need to quit talking about it and get out there in the field and do it. So this is 800 lumen spot. I'm doing a very careful sweep across the lake. Like so. I would also use thermal to scan down in here, make sure I didn't miss anything. So the idea is that I want to do a sweep here, then I'll move about 50, 60 yards down the path and do an overlapping sweep. So I have constantly overlapping zones. I should also point out we just got some new intel in. Apparently, Santa's organization is under threat by an organization that calls themselves G2. They prefer the philosophy of the original Grinch, and they were very disturbed that he embraced the Christmas spirit. So their stated goal is to steal Christmas for all kids across the globe. So the ops team at the North Pole now believes that THX's disappearance may be caused by direct activity and intervention from the G2 organization. Don't know if you saw the fish there. So in addition to search and rescue, this is very typical. I also have to consider possible contact with hostile forces. Well, I guess that's why they call me Dirty Harry. Every dirty job that comes along. Well, the rain has really let up, so I was able to do most of my lake search with thermal. Kind of thought I might have seen something over in this direction. It's over 200 yards across the lake. So let me do a quick turbo burst with the MH25 Pro. I don't see anything reflective. Don't see anything else with my optic. So we're going to call that one a no-go. And I'm going to head on in towards the LZ. So I had to get off the beaten path, so to speak. You got these depressions all around, and as soon as I notice one, I need to really look through it because the LZ is just off in this direction. The wind at the time of drop is blowing this way, so if there was a problem and THX, experienced though he may be, got misdirected by wind, this would be a probable area. So I'm going to do a quick sweep here. This is a 1000 lumen flood mode on my headlamp. Looking up into the trees, this is a very probable area where someone might have gotten hung up. So it's important to make sure that your head is not just on a swivel horizontally, but you're looking up appropriately up and down as well. There you go, see the owl? So this is a very difficult area right here. I'm trying to get a lot of side-to-side coverage, so I'm back to 1000 lumen flood on the headlamp. Thermal is pretty much worthless, so I'm going through very short targeted burst with the MH25 Pro. See if I can pick up anything reflective. Of course, I have to be careful. I don't want to go spend too much time out here because the LZ is that way and that's where I'm headed next. So I'm standing in front of the LZ. I'm going to use the Nextorch as kind of a pointer. This is the general periphery of where THX was supposed to land. Of course, I've searched in all the trees, lake back there. I'm very thankful that rain has led up to the point that thermal is working very well, and I have the advantage of an elevated position over the LZ, so this search has gone better than I expected. That was that brushy area that I was in before. So what I'm going to do is continue working my way around in this direction, just in case. I don't know that he was blown off, but there could have been a chute malfunction or something that put him way off in this area. Then the path heads back off in that direction, and then I can work my way back around, and that will complete a thorough search of the LZ, and then will also put me in position to start working on the undershoot scenario if that turns out to be what happened. Don't know if you can see it off in the distance. I picked up some eye shine. There's actually a path that goes out from the lake. There's one right there, but there's one much further on the path. This is 2000 lumen spot. I'm past the LZ now, and you can see this ground is flat. In fact, there may have even been some controlled burning going on. So honestly, between thermal and visual, if there was anything else to spot, I would have seen it. I've also been blowing my hyper whistle regularly. That's 140 decibel peak, one very long blast. I have a hearing protection that also offers electronic hearing enhancement, and so I turn that up after the blast just so I can hear any type of faint yell or moan. Going to proceed off in this direction around, and then I'll check back in. So here's a quick look of the EO3R V2 in high. Pretty nice for a keychain light. Good runtime as well. I like this for just sort of a backup emergency light, as well as a light that I could give to someone that I find who, after you take care of their immediate physical needs, is mobile enough to follow me back to safety, but they don't have any lights, so I might give them this in a handheld light. But there's just a quick look for you. I just heard something back in those trees. So this is the EDC 33. This is what they call the lumen shield or the turbo spot and flood. Just taking a quick look back into the deep areas of the trees. Well, there is mission time. Nearly an hour. I'm moving as fast as I can. I'm very grateful that thermal has allowed me to search a very wide range of territory in minimal amount of time, and I've still taken up about an hour, and that worries me because time equates to survivability. I like to think about as soon as I start an op, I take an hourglass, I turn it over. That sand is going down every step I take, every time I pause to make a decision. That sand represents the survivability of the person or persons I'm looking for. Now, if everything had gone according to plan, drop off area back in that direction, over the lake, and hit the LZ. That clearly didn't happen. So what I'm going to do, I've already checked out in this open area. Thankfully, it doesn't look like there's any entanglement in the power wires. So I'm going to run kind of a spiral pattern because I'm starting to buy into the undershoot scenario. Go back in this direction, then head back around this way to a point that's very close to where the drop-off would have been. Now, my guess is, being a very experienced operator with over 50 drops on his record, THX, whatever shoot control he had, is probably going to look for open areas, or if he's descending into trees, he's going to try to hit a gap between trees. Okay, I know from experience there is an open field and a number of parking lots off in that direction. And the two things that tend to form gaps between tree lines are creeks and trails, and there just so happens to be a creek off there, which I'm going to go search next. At the bridge right now, one side of the creek, let's check out that EDC 33 again, the turbo spot, and see how that works. That's a half press and hold. Oh yeah, that's smoking. Easy for very quick scans. Let's go do the other side. All right, no sign out here. I'm going to go up to 1000 lumen flood. There is a very wide open grassy area right there. Easy thermal search. And then as we move off in this direction, several parking lots. Then we can turn back into a heavily treed area. So that's the direction I'm going to go. Just keep tightening that spiral pattern. This is a huge open area that I'm in now, but don't forget to check these little drainage areas and things that may be missed by thermal. As you can see, we're wide open here. It's a very bright night tonight as well. If it weren't for the clouds, we'd have at least a 3/4 moon out. I'm going to move across here. Because of the low clouds, we also have a lot of partial reflection of the light from the surrounding city. So even if there were no moon out, it still looks like there's a full moon out or more tonight. Very easy to do a thermal sweep here. I'm also going to use the MH25 Pro to just do a quick scan for anything reflective along these tree lines. So I just made it past one parking lot. I kind of need to go down into this area. I'm running 400 lumen combined flood and spot on the headlamp. That should be more than enough for a good sweep. I can see something reflective out there, but I think that's artificial. Okay, so I'm going to go down very quickly, go along the tree line down there, look up into the trees, and then I'll check back in later. Street light at my back, 2 ahead, over 175 yards past them. MH25 Pro. There we go. It does help if you hold the switch down. Okay, nothing there. It's a little bit too close. 800 lumens spot on my headlamp. Finish the sweep. Look up. So I'm going to do a little bit more detailed search of this entire area, then head off to my right. Continue to tighten that spiral search pattern. By making the second turn, this is heading approximately back to where we came, which would be over in that direction. Drops should have been there. So if he ran into trouble early, this is the only big gap between trees until we get up to a creek, which is almost back to the main parking lot. So I'm going to continue spiraling in, constantly looking for sign. You never know when something might or not. Whoa, 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 what is this? Let me get my pack off. Oh no. What do we have here? Oh no, 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 I can see the blood already. It's a gingerbread ranger. Now, nobody told me that there was another op in this area. Poor guy, looked like he bought the farm. Sorry, my friend. Romeo, Lima, Tango, Whiskey. I guess that tells me 2 things. Number 1, I may be on the right track. Probably 3 things. Number 2, it's very likely that THX ran into foul play, courtesy of G2. And number 3, looks like they're playing for keeps. All right then, I guess it's time to let old Painless out of the bag, aka Mr. 10mm. I want really good side-to-side viz, so I'm going 1,000 lumen flood on the headlamp. Also be very careful. This wood is incredibly slick, especially with leaves on top. I've almost slipped twice, and then, whoa, 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 are you kidding me? Is that a shoot? Oh my God, there he is, there he is. THX, hang on. Oh man. Okay, he's still got vitals. I've got some first aid to do. I'll be right back. All right, he's in good shape. Looks like a little bit of bruising from the fall, and then a light bullet graze, which came from these. I found them dead in the area right over in this direction. Looks like G2 is employing small soldiers. How devious. Well, I've called it in. My instructions are proceed back to the FOB where I started. It looks like THX is in good enough shape to be transported. I've got him hydrated, fed. I'm going to keep him wrapped up in my schmog for warmth. So, here we go. I'm stopped now as we're approaching the bridge. I was instructed to beware of possible G2 agents still in the area, so I'm trying to move as clandestine as possible using just the red light. As you can see, we've got the bridge up here, creek to my right and left. As it happens, I did contact Incident Command of the North Pole, and I'm amazed at the scope of Santa's operation. They actually have a QRF in the area. That QRF is inbound and ready to provide support. I'm supposed to signal 3 times as I exit from the woods, so I'm going to use my trusty Nextorch LEP. 1, 2, and 3. All right, time to go meet up with the QRF. All right, we're back at the FOB where I originally staged, and there's final mission time, literally just over 2 hours. Wow, the overhead fluorescent lighting here is terrible. Well, THX was checked out. He's in pretty good shape for what he went through. He was attacked almost literally from the second he was out of the plane. Thankfully, small soldiers also shoot small caliber rounds. One of the QRF members is going to take on his responsibility. Now, I've been told Santa's operations are proceeding with no hitches at all, so it looks like together we have saved Christmas. So my friend here, I can't tell you his real name, but he and I are going to enjoy some coffee before I do my after-action report. What's that? Oh, you want another sip? Okay, yeah, no problem. Oh yeah, I think Mikey likes it. So, check this out. Arrived in the mail today. This is from Nextorch. Okay, I'm totally speechless. This is beyond impressive. So let's see what we've got here. Let's party. Yeah, well, I'm not in much of a position to do any partying. Looks like it opens up. Whoa! Hey, check this out. We've got an operative from Snowman Team 6. Guess he wants to join us for some Hawaiian Kona. Oh, some other goodies too, including, oh, look at this, a new light to review. Thank you very much, Nextorch. So, I guess I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. If you celebrate Christmas, then THX and I want to wish you a merry one. If not, well, I hope you got a couple laughs tonight, learned a few things about search and rescue, and you got to see how all these various lighting systems are used under realistic circumstances. It's very possible this could have been a real mission tonight. I had problems with almost slipping. I could see if somebody came out here earlier tonight, how easy it could be once it started raining for them to get in trouble. So, I guess that's going to do it for this evaluation. I do hope to have the MH25 Pro and EDC33 full field test out just as soon as I can get past all of this almost non-stop infernal rain. On that happy note, I'm going to shut it down for tonight. I guess at this time, a lot of people right now are sleeping, dreaming of what's going to be under the tree tomorrow, like a lot of our first responders. I just prefer to be out here, no matter what the elements are, working on someone else's behalf. And as I look out into that darkness one more time, I'll leave you with a thought that is constantly on my mind. De oppresso liber.